question on a brief note. I was perusing some shit on my tablet. Understand, and just long story short, I ended up watching these videos by this group, Maverick City Music. You know what I'm saying? And they were very inspirational. They were very inspiring, and I liked them. Considering the fact that I ain't into gospel music. You know what I'm saying? But I liked them, and they became our workout music. And we all know how music, make us feel. Rather than R&B, rap. How it gets you in your mood, your groove. You know what I'm saying? And that what it did for me, man. It set the tone for a real groove, and I just felt like, some, type of spiritual type of awakening going on. And we all know, at the time, during that time, that's when I was still hanging out, partying, we could say. You know what I'm saying? And man, it just seemed like every time I was partying, trying to do my thing, it's like I had this one I had a real spiritual experience. You know what I'm saying? Like God was talking to me. And like we were wrestling, like I was wrestling with God, trying to fight it. Now what you always used to tell me, this you played a part too. Some of the shit you used to tell me back in the day. You always used to feel like writing. My calling had something to do with writing. Man, Greg, man, when you used to write, old girl, you know what I'm saying? When you was talking about that, you know what I'm saying? The writing, how I write, oh
Right, right,
man,
definitely.
when you were writing, I come before you, that shit there, man, da da da, all that. So, now I'm struggling with this thing, purpose. What was my purpose? You know what I'm saying? And then this one, I guess, I don't like to sound cliche or nothing, but just, if I had to say, my revelation, I was like, man, the shit just hit you so hard. That's when I was like, man, you damn fool, Dave already told you what your motherfucking calling is, what your purpose is, writing. You know what I'm saying? And then I had this thought just came out of nowhere about light. I was just it was like nowhere intrigued. I didn't talk to you about this shit before when I was telling you about the light. When I gave you the scenario about if you was in a bunker or a basement or something, underground, it was all black. Ain't no electricity. You ain't got no lighter, cell phone, camera. You ain't got no type of light, period. I'm talking about it's pitch black. You can hold your hand in front of your face, 5 inches from your face, and won't even see your fingers. It's just that dark in there. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a motherfucking light start to radiating. You know what I'm saying? You just view this light emanating out of nowhere, bright. I ain't no doubt in my mind. First damn thing, I'm like, man, shit, that's God. You know what I'm saying? That's the only damn thing I'm thinking of. I ain't thinking about no electrical burst, no nothing going on. I ain't thinking about nothing, man. Shit, that got to be where in the fuck the light come from? You know what I'm saying? So, I had something like that going on with in the beginning. Genesis say in the beginning he said, "Let there be light," and there was light. So I was like, okay, this is the manifestation. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause like I was telling you, at least maybe I was saying this on the phone the other day, but if God did never manifest His glory, who can say how wonderful He is or how glorious He is? That's when I gave you, the example about, if Michael Jordan ain't never pick up the basketball, how can we say, oh, Mike was raw? Oh, Mike was great with the ball. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Peyton Manning. If Peyton Manning never throw the football, how can a nigga say, man, Peyton Manning raw? So God ain't never manifest no action, no glory, no work. We can't say how great He is. You know what I'm saying? So we're looking at the sum total of the greatness when we just open our eyes every day. That should be the sum total right there. I don't give a fuck where you at. If you in prison, if you on the street, if you in the army, you know what I'm saying, if you in an insane asylum, when you open your eyes and you look at another human being with all them complex parts, you can just look at the eye. That motherfucker got a cornea, a iris, a pupil, a lens, all this shit. And man, you just go down to the nose, how that motherfucker hooked up to a sinus cavity and all this shit, and the tongue and the teeth, the amount of teeth in them, how everything play a part. If you can't just look at another nigga and tell how the same God is, man, something wrong. You know what I'm saying? So, I just, started looking at life itself, and that was all I needed to know. You know what I'm saying?
That's real. That's real, man.